We're up to the third leg of Pick Six coming up later on tonight. The Northern Preview with George Simon, and God knows what he's got up to this week. We'll find out shortly. A fly over Auckland City. Maybe he's flying the plane, I don't know. Maybe they just dropped him out the window. With FAI, let's go around to Jim Smith, who's sitting there at Alexandra Park trackside for us. And number 6, Buttlerish, I guess. Jim will have quite a few Pick Six, digits on tonight.
Well, Triple Thrill, in fact, is the favourite at the moment for the race, the third leg of Pick Six, and we'll have a look at some of those starters in just a moment or two. But I can tell you the rain continues to fall here at Alexandra Park at the moment. Certainly not the most enjoyable nights in terms of the weather. But it's amazing who you meet here trackside on a Friday night. The Member of Parliament for Mangere and former Prime Minister, the Right Honourable David Lange, joins me trackside Friday. They tell me, Mr Lange, you enjoy a night at the Trots.
I do. It's good. It's a good place to go. It's good entertainment. It's not just betting and trotting. It's company and it's eating. And it's being out of the rain. And it's much more interesting than hearing the budget.
As far as the facilities are concerned, I guess stack up with some of them anywhere in the world.
Yeah, I was here once and Mickey Rooney was saying just how well it stood up against the rest of the world. And of course against the rest of other facilities in the country, Waipukurau and Waverley bear no comparison to this place. It's a good place.
In terms of being such a well-known personality, obviously people are giving you tips and winners all night long, so you must come out on the right side of the ledger.
I doubt that any of them are my friends. It certainly has not been a remunerative experience being here tonight. I'm so used to throwing tickets away, I was thinking of throwing away my Pick Six ticket.
I trust that it was not a live one at that stage.
It certainly won't be now.
Yeah. You've been the spokesman for the Labour Party on racing as well. How do you perceive the strength of the industry in New Zealand at the moment?
I think it's a very critical point. I think that there's a certain flamboyance in trotting administration and professionalism which is helped by being in a metropolitan centre, by astute administration, astute investment. Some of the racing clubs are ahead of the game, but most racing and trotting clubs lose money and have been. And there's going to be the incursion of major overseas carnivals, and New Zealand has to make a response to that. We're in a world where sport has been internationalised, where betting has been internationalised. And we're making the sort of first slow comeback steps with the Racing Amendment Bill, and that's exciting all sorts of opposition, and terrors and fears and phobias are being aroused. And it's all very tentative. It's a problem. The industry used to have just about every bit of the gambling dollar 20 years ago, and it's now got 36%. And that they find themselves oppressed by that. Even if there was no tax on trotting and racing, it's still hard to feel enormously confident about a vibrant future.
The industry itself seems to think they have a divine right for taxation relief, do they?
Well, they do. I mean, in fact, there's thousands and thousands of people benefit from those who bet on horse races, whereas if you bet on a fruit machine, an instant kiwi or any other form of gambling, you don't actually cause anyone to get up at 5 in the morning and run a horse in the dark, blowing fumes and froth in the air and then being rubbed down and having a rotten cup of tea in some distant stable in Ekatahuna or somewhere. That is something which people don't realise, that a poker machine is what you've got. It's electronic wizardry, it's all this amazing music and the great pressure to put more on. You forget that dollar coin is a dollar coin and you just simply, you lose control of it. But racing actually has a more social aspect to it. It is less addictive than other forms of gambling. And it actually makes people work. I mean, were it not for that, you'd be out of a job.
Quite right, too. You can't help me with a winner, can you? Because they don't pay me very much.
Well, I met a few in my time, so I've backed. The word invest is probably imprudent. A horse called Buttlerish, because there's many people in my life who've been like that.
Stephen Reid will be very proud of you. Mr. Lange, thanks for joining us here. Let's head out to the track, have a look at some of the starters in the next here at Alexandra Park. I think the rain has stopped temporarily as we head towards the Geiger Bloodstock Mobile Pace. The favourite for the race, Triple Thrill, from Jeff Krauth's stable at Pukekohe, $3.40 and $1.70. Certainly one I think has got a great show of flying the flag for Jeff Krauth, although Rangatamoi, which is the horse trained by Peter Wolfenden, and a good last start third there in the black colours, is also going to be awfully hard to beat. $5.15 at $1.65. This horse came a good third at Cambridge at its previous start, and Rangatamoi, from that nice handy draw of 2 behind the mobile over 2,200 metres, is going to be very hard to beat. There's the Stephen Reid colours again with number 7, Easy As, one of 2 he has in the race, the stablemate of Buttlerish. So we'll have a look at Butterish shortly, for David Butcher is the driver. And Mr. Longy has made a very prudent investment on number 6 Butterish, at the moment at $5.15 and $2.10. And there it is, David Butcher in the yellow cap, the horse with the driver wearing the turquoise and black stars. And there's Easy As just ahead of it, the other Stephen Reid runner, Tony Herlihy, the drive, and $6.15 and $1.90. There's the Auckland weather as we're enjoying it tonight. Reasonably cool out there too at the moment. But one thing about the facilities here at Alexandra Park, there's plenty of spaces to get out of the rain, sit back, relax, enjoy, and it's all company and eating and betting and the occasional drink, so they tell me. There's Clive Herbert's colours, the white with the blue and yellow, number 9 Smooth Sarah. James Stormont takes the drive tonight. Well-known trotting identity Ron Hanford is the owner. Horse only ran 8th at its last start, but on that occasion didn't get the best of runs. Prior to that, a good 2nd and a 1st. So Smooth Sarah, number 9 at $9.55 and $2.75, not the least of chances. Start has been given the all clear to call them up behind the mobile for this 2,200 metre journey. There were some 55,000 live units in pick 6 after the first leg. That would have diminished somewhat, but that guaranteed pool of $250,000, I won't complain if I take some of that home. 9,700 odd live units going into the third leg of pick 6 tonight. So the starter calling them in behind the mobile. There's Rangatamui, currently at $4.90, $1.75. The second favourite, Triple Thrill, retains favouritism at $3.45, $1.60. And Butterish, obviously the word has spread. It has now come down to $4.90 and $1.95.
I didn't know that David Butcher was driving it.
You wouldn't
Not
have.
the old politician.
No, different fella, I think. But in behind the mobile, heading around to the start point. Good luck to Butterish and the rest of the horses in the race as Radio Pacific's Albie Gain gives us the live call.
Almost at the starting point, race 7, Geiger Bloodstock, and they are racing. Breezes Bell on the inside began well. Rangatamui came out nicely. Triple Thrill is safely away. They're followed out by Midnight Breeze Excellence just in behind the speed. Down on the inside, Smooth Sarah. They're followed the outside, California Dreaming. Then we've got Midnight Split at the 2000. Moonweave Motoring on the inside of Butterish as they head out towards the 1900. Sherilee and Celia Direct and Easy As. There's about 12 lengths first to last as they head out now. And the leader is Rangatamui showing the way by a length and a half. Breezes Bell on the inner. As they work into the back, they're followed over on the outside, Midnight Breeze. There's Triple Thrill on a forward charge out wider, followed by Excellence. 3 wide on the outside of California Dreaming, and 3 back on the inside to Smooth Sarah. In the next group on the outside is Butterish, followed by Midnight Split. Easy As out wider, down on the inside, Sherilee and Moonweave Motoring, and last of all is Celia Direct. Down the past the 1450 they go in rain, and Rangatamui showing out by 2 lengths over Breezes Bell. Triple Thrill on the outside next is followed out wider, then Excellence is going up in full flight. They're followed 3 back on the inside, Smooth Sarah on the outside, 3 wide is Butterish and the gold cap as they make the corner. In behind them, Sherilee on the outside, Midnight Breeze, Easy As. In behind that lot now is California Dreaming. In behind California Dreaming, Midnight Split, Moonweave Motoring and Celia Direct. It brought up the rear. Down they come now, and they get the bell with just over 1,050 to go. And Rangatamui, the pacemaker, by 3/4, Butterish. There's Easy As moving up on the outside of Butterish. The stablemate will give it cover. There followed Breezes Bell back on the inside. In the centre now, Excellence, and out wider then to Midnight Split. Smooth Sarah's 3 back on the inside. Then we've got Triple Thrill in the red and white stripes down on the inside. Sherilee as they run past the 800, followed by Celia Direct, Moonweave Motoring, and Midnight Breeze. Last of all, the quarter was 32.4, the half 103.9. Down the far side, they travelling the Geiger Bloodstock and the leader Rangatamoy. Rangatamoy, their half on the outside is going to be Easy As. They're followed Breezes Bell. Out wider then to California Dreaming. Right between them is Butlerish in the 1-1. 3 deep on the inside to Smooth Sarah, followed by Excellence on its outside, and 3 wide to Midnight Split. A length and a half away, Shirley from Triple Thrill, getting back Midnight Breeze and Celia Direct and Moonweave Motoring. They round the corner, 220 to go, and Rangatamoy challenged by Easy As. Butlerish in behind them, Breezes Bell on the rail. Out wider, California Dreaming. Easy As went the lead from Rangatamoy. Here comes Butlerish, the chestnut after it, stablemate, and Breezes Bell going to run through. Easy As and Butlerish levelling on the outside. Easy As, Butlerish in charge. Easy As and Butlerish. Easy As beat Butlerish. Third is Breezes Bell. There followed Excellence, and behind them Smooth Sarah, then Rangatamoy, California Dreaming, Midnight Split. Shirley on the outside then to Triple Thrill, Moonwind Motoring, Celia Direct, and Midnight Breeze last in.
Well, I suppose anyone connected with the Reedman stable will be still sitting pretty in pick 6. He's just Quinella that event. He's won the first leg of pick 6 tonight. And number 7, Easy As, with Tony Herlihy driving, has pipped out, I suppose, everybody's choice of the 2, Butlerish, for first money. Inside the 200 metres here, Tony Herlihy, quite confident, goes for the earplugs, and out they come. Thought David Butcher had left his run perfectly late because it was just starting to charge up on the outside of Easy As, Butlerish, but Easy As just had a wee bit up its sleeve and it stalled it off and won it by about half a neck. Number 7, Easy As, ahead of Butlerish, and Breezes Bell, I think it was, number 1, an outsider that'll sneak through into third money. Third leg of pick 6, and Tony H wins 2 legs along with Stephen Reid.
Yes, and a good Quinella for the Reedman's stable. Tony Herlihy, Easy As wins it. Was a good run, David Butcher behind Butlerish. And I'm sure the former Prime Minister was starting to count his shekels as the horse headed towards the line, but just couldn't overcome the stablemate. Big run from the Stephen Phillips trained Breezes Bell along the inside for Richard Brosnan to grab that third money at generous odds. And then it's number 4, Excellence, who actually came home quite well late in the piece to grab that fourth money. That was one of the outsiders I've thrown in my pick 6 combinations, and if Excellence had got up for Peter Ferguson, just got shuffled back a wee bit on the turn, but did come home well late in the piece. So perhaps mark down Excellence as an improver next time you see it lining up at the races. So Tony Herlihy strikes oil with Easy As, and Stephen Reid gets the Quinella with Butlerish and David Butcher running second.
Tony H salutes the judge for the second time tonight, and he closes a couple in on Maurice McHenry in that Drivers' Championship. Let's have a look to race 8, 9:50 start time here on Trackside Friday. And El Below Bell is number 1 in the Hyundai Accents Pace, 16.15 and 5.75. Murray Mac on twice as good at 14.85 the win, 3.85 for the place. Number 3, Super Strikers, Tony Herlihy's chance in the next at 3.90 and $1.70. Looks like it just about might be the favourite. 30.75 and $9.60 for Race Junior. Number 5, Gold Baron, Gary Jones at 5.50 and 2.10. There should be a bit of money on Natural Creation though on the next page. Number 6, Theophilus at 8.30 and 2.70. Favourite is in fact Natural Creation at 2.50 and 75 cents only. And the trackside tip is number 8, Infinite Spirit at 8.25 the win and 2.35 for the place. Glenn Wolfenden driving, 9.50 for the fourth leg of pick 6 tonight at Alexandra Park. We should have the result and the Fairview Motors Northern preview shortly here on the Trackside channel.
Make a date this Queen's birthday weekend at the Ashburton Trots. See top harness racing on Saturday and Monday, with the feature race being the Bank of New Zealand Sapling Stakes on Monday. Top pacer Blossom Lady will be parading on course on Monday, Ladies' Day. And ladies, just by being smartly dressed, you could win a spot prize with up to $1,000 to be won. Plus, there are unlucky ticket draws to win great prizes. Entries free. First race 10 to 11 both days. Ashburton Trots, Queen's birthday. Don't miss it.
I have with me the boss of Fairview Motors, Mr. Dennis Sexton.
Hi there, George.
Dennis, Fairview Motors has a stable full of winners.
Yes, George, we pride ourselves in presenting the entire Ford range.
A great used vehicle selection.
Yeah, George, all sorts of last start winners.
Ford is a thoroughbred, Dennis, so what about the vet work?
Fairview's is fully equipped by service and parts department run by very experienced staff.
So where are the stables, Dennis?
You can't miss them, George. Giraffe Road, Hamilton, next to the racecourse, and Wahara Road, Matamata on the roundabout.
The DB Draft Winter Carnival. 2 days of great entertainment at Ellerslie on Saturday the 3rd and Monday the 5th. with fun for the kids, live music, the DB Draft Clydesdales, great racing and great competitions with 10 $100 betting vouchers to be won. The feature races, the TV Guide Hurdles on Saturday and the DB Draft Steeplechase on Monday. Racing starts at 11:15. Be there for 2 great days at Ellerslie.
The Gallops Pick 6 gives you a shot at some big money on Saturday. This week there's $50,000 to be won. Use your skill to pick the 6 winners or play the easy way with a Pick 6 easy bet. Either way, the big money could be yours.
Stephen Reid Horses Quinella, the 7th event tonight, and the winner, number 7, Easy As, paced the 2,200 metres mobile in 2:48.6, a mile rate of 2:3.4, a 59.8 last half, and a short neck was the final margin with 3/4 of a length between second and third. And 7, Easy As, in the hands of Tony Hurley, 6.65 and 2:15. Butlerish, the second favourite at $1.90, and Breezes Bell, number 1, cranked up the trifecta at 4.15. 6 and 7 Quinella, 17.75, and the trifecta 7, 6 and 1, $689.35. Fourth leg of Pick 6 is race 8 tonight. Time to go live here on the Trackside channel at 9:50. But we continue with our preview of racing over this weekend. Lots of good racing news in the north this past week. Great turnout for the Walk the Course promotion last Sunday with Paul Hillis and co. Walking a lot of people around the Great Northern Steeples course. Super Fields, of course, for the TV Guide Hurdles tomorrow and the DB Draft Steeples on Monday. Actually, a bit of sad news from up north that I read in the paper this morning. A galloper who would imagine would have had a nice stud career ahead of him, Cold Reception, apparently involved in a fatal training incident yesterday and had to be destroyed. So apologies, or rather sympathy, goes out to the connections of Cool Reception. But previewing the northern area racing this weekend, I'm just dying to wait and see what he's up to. George Simon with Ross Fisher and the northern preview sponsored by Fairview Motors. You're on Trackside Friday.
Kia ora, good evening everyone, and a warm welcome to this edition of Northern Preview, brought to you once again with the good wishes of the good folk from Fairview Motors. Well, I'm my Pat Malone this week with the Matamata Maestro having the weekend off, but looking forward to the action over Queen's Birthday weekend up here in the north. It's the big one, the DB Draft Winter Jumping Carnival at Ellerslie. And of course, looking forward to the TV Guide Hurdles tomorrow at Ellerslie, and on Monday, Queen's Birthday Monday, the running of the big one, the DB Draft Steeplechase, formerly known as the Great Northern Steeplechase, and both races should add a lot of interest and a lot of colour to what is a very popular carnival at Ellerslie. Well, last weekend, of course, we saw the running of the Nadu Sheraton Rotorua Cup, and it was taken out very impressively by a very underrated mare all the way from the tiny township of Te Teko, her name Just Apollo. Up towards the turn they come, 300 metres to go. El Salvador, Tui Akarana, now John Doe swept to them, and here's Italian Saint and Just Apollo coming with it. Down the stretch, 200 metres to go. John Doe took over from Italian Saint, who's now made the lead. And behind them is Just Apollo, then followed by Tui Akarana. Further back, Nat the Brad and El Salvador. Italian Saint, look at Just Apollo, wind up for Rosie. And Just Apollo and Italian Saint, she's got there, Just Apollo. The pride and joy of Te Teko does it again. Just Apollo beat Italian. So a great win there to Just Apollo in last weekend's Nadu Sheraton Rotorua Cup. A very underrated mare, and certainly very, very courageous as well. Well, also another highlight from last week was the fact that Jimmy Collett rode his 100th winner for the season. A marvellous achievement for JC Collett. He certainly has been in rare form over the past 12 months and deservedly gained his 100th win for the season aboard Dollars in Gold at Ottawa Park last Saturday. Dollars in Gold is coming into it for Jimmy Collett. Look at Night Charmer work round on the outside. Then Suncatcher, followed further back in the field by Rumtara. Then Master Dancer. You guessed it, Tony True on his last as they race into the straight. 300 metres to go. Commander Cheval's the leader here. Suncatcher though, and out wide. Rumtara's running on with Night Charmer. They get to the 150 metres. It's Dollars in Gold coming after Rumtara and Night Charmer, but Dollars in Gold kept up to its work for Jim Collett. That's his 100th win, and he salutes the judge too. Dollars in Gold won it. So a look back at some of the action from the past week up here in the north anyway. Congratulations to Jimmy Collett, a marvellous achievement as well. Well, we're all looking forward to the DB Draft Winter Carnival at Ellerslie over Queen's Birthday weekend. And at a media launch to launch the DB Draft Winter Carnival, the Auckland Racing Club came up with a rather novel way to launch it for the media. Well, Bob, what do you reckon's going on today?
Well, I don't know, George. I see the More Fun bus, so that explains your presence here, but I'm a bit worried. I look at Air Craftsman, that's a bit of a worry. I'll give you the tip.
But it should be a rather interesting media launch.
Well, given my age, probably it's Museum of Technology stuff, so yeah, it should be pretty interesting, whatever they're up to, who knows, but you look around and there's some good pilots around, you know, they've all piled a bit on at times, so who knows, I don't know, my hands are up.
They were pretty persistent that I came up, so we're looking forward to whatever is going to happen.
And see Dave McCarthy here as well from Christchurch.
Yes, that's right, Dave and I have both come up from the south, and yeah, it's quite exciting.
Can I have a fair sort of a guess, George? I've predicted it could be a helicopter ride over the fences of the Great Northern Steeplechase. But it's only a guess, I've got no idea.
And of course, a good turnout from the media here today too.
Definitely, I can see they've got them from Christchurch, Wellington and everywhere. Can't you see those blokes once in a while?
It'd have to be a pretty big helicopter for all of us to fit in it.
Or maybe they got more than one.
Well, I thought we were going to have a look at the course for the Northern meeting, George, but to see a bus here, it's a bit of a worry.
And quite a few characters here in the background too.
Yeah, as I said, as I thought it was a look at the course, I've got a bit more first-hand knowledge of the course. I've ridden over the course, and some of these bigger fellas here, they got no show of ever riding a horse, let alone getting over the course. But it looks an interesting day.
So as I said, these guys, the media representatives here, not really sure what they're in for, although these name tags possibly give it away a little bit. I don't know what an air commander or wing commander is, but I hope it's an important position anyway. We're about to board the bus and head out to Ardmore, where we'll be linking up with the DC-3 Dakota warplane. Well, we've finally made it here to Ardmore Airport, and we're about to go up in the Warbird, the Dakota Warbird. I'm not sure what they call this thing, but we'll find out, no doubt. So, as they say, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Let's head up and see what they've got in store for us.
From a producer's point of view, life for a Northern presenter is a tough one, or so I've been told, especially from George. So today's assignment, the stressful job of relaxing on a DC-3 over Auckland's spectacular scenery, sheer commitment to this week's Northern Preview. But seriously, folks, congratulations must go to the Auckland Racing Club for this rather novel media presentation, a club looking to go forward and upwards. The club have been indebted to their loyal sponsors over the years, Peter Wills from DB and Mike Blake from News Media, instigators for the function.
Pete, what a marvellous way for this media launch today.
Well, it is, George. It's very unique, and the Auckland Racing Club and News Media and ourselves sat down at one of our planning meetings and said, well, what can we do that's something different? And after a bit of deliberation, we came up with this, and I think everyone's pretty happy with the whole day.
The DB draft right behind the Auckland Racing Club when it comes to the Great Northern Carnival.
Yes, it is, George, and we're delighted to continue our association. This is the fourth year of our sponsorship of the steeplechase, and of course it's our 12th year coming up of the sponsorship of the Auckland Cup too, so we do have a very long-term association with the club, and we're delighted with the way things have gone this year. They seem to have changed tact a little bit on their marketing and promotions approach, and the Racing Industry Board have got behind them as well as News Media and ourselves, and I think we're heading towards a pretty successful carnival.
And it was a great idea of the Auckland Racing Club to get us all together up here, and I mean, you can't talk to many people too much, but they got the message, and I think the press boys and everybody else is suitably satisfied and impressed.
Of course, News Media have got a lot of mileage, shall I say, out of the Great Northern Hurdles a couple of years or so ago.
Yes, we certainly did. It was one of those results, perhaps a little unfortunate, but it was good for us. We hope it's a nice race this year, and we're looking forward to it. It'll be exciting, that's one thing.
We've often had trouble getting the media to turn up for various different reasons, because a lot of them are busy and all that sort of thing, so we thought we'd do something different, make it a bit secretive, and do something that probably most people never done.
And, you know, we get treated with kid clubs today as well. We got lunch, and marvellous to see the sights of Auckland from the air.
Well, it's wonderful, George, isn't it? I mean, I've lived in Auckland for 25 years before I went away to Te Araha and Canterbury and Macau, and I have never done this. Beautiful sights. Na, 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 na.
Na, 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 Thank you very much, ladies. That was lovely.
That was brilliant. Thank you. I'd always thought that Sydney was the most beautiful harbour in the world, easily. Jesus, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Right. Now, you've got to get people to go out and look at Auckland City like that.
Well, we do have scenics every Sunday.
Do you?
So
You
come
have,
out with us.
you have, should have scenics every day of the week. Auckland beats Sydney for dead.
So the proud Auks look forward to their DB Draft Steeplechase Carnival. And as for George, well, he'll just fly off to another mission.
So it was certainly a very interesting day having lunch up in a DC-3 Warbird plane. But of course tomorrow, TV Guide Hurdles Day, and during the week Michelle Saber took her cameras along to Takanini and caught up with the Takanini train representatives. Both of them should be thereabouts in the TV Guide Hurdles. The likely favourite being Mighty Good Fun, and also the Frank and Sean Ritchie trained I'm Victor.
It was a wet and windy morning at Takanini this Thursday morning on the eve of the Great Northern Carnival, and all the attention here this morning focused on the hurdles candidates Mighty Good Fun and I'm Victor. I'm Victor seemed to get through his work quite nicely this morning.
Yes, he did, Michelle. He's done nicely, and I'm happy with his condition.
What's going to be the hardest to beat?
Mighty Good Fun's been impressive lately, and you know, he's got to be hard. He's up in the weight a little bit. That'll you know, help us a bit, but still, he's a nice horse. If I was going to pick a roughie, I'd pick King's Table, also John Wheeler's. John always has them ready, of course, and he's gone around a few times. He mightn't have quite the class of one or two of the others, but he will get to the line in what's going to be a very heavy track.
His ability on the flat will hold him in good stead at the end of the race?
Well, he has won a few flat races, but you know, as since he's been jumping, he seems to be more content to plod along at steeplechase pace. And a horse like Mighty Good Fun has got more pace and runs past him, but at the end of 2.5 miles, with a bit of weight difference, but perhaps that'll be just a little more in our favour this time. We'll see.
Alvin, Mighty Good Fun had a nice hit out this morning. What work did you do with him?
He worked probably about 2,000 metres for himself. Just nice jumper's pace, nice work.
How did he come through the Waikato hurdles?
Extra good, couldn't be happier.
And you quietly confident going into?
You're never confident in a race like the Northern, but he's got as good a show as any of them, I think.
Any special instructions to Paul Hillis?
Well, he knows where he's going. He's the best around, I think, and he's ridden the horse right through.
So we're looking forward to not only the TV Guide Hurdles tomorrow at Ellerslie, but also, of course, on Monday, the running of the DB Draft Steeplechase should be another great instalment of that time-honoured event. Looking forward to your company over the weekend, so that wraps up Northern Preview for another week.
Got some late mail for the Auckland Racing Club's first day of their two-day Queen's Birthday Carnival. Nice and fancy in race 3, racing solidly, and unlike most of the opposition in this event, will be running home strongly at the end, what should be a very testing race on a very testing track. Race 2, number 3, Nice and Fancy. Go to race 9, Friend Zone, class horse, number 16, and a dangerous lightweight chance in the event. It's the late mail from Auckland. Wind movers for the next from the Auckland Trots tonight with Burlington Air Express, number 2, Twice As Good, opened at $15.75, and a big mover and shaker into $8.20. Infinite Spirit at $6.25 after opening at $8.45. Natural Creation a drifter, but still the favourite at $2.85. Theophilus at $10.40 after opening at $7.85. El Below Bell out to 22s from $17 almost, and Gold Baron not much change, sitting on 6. The Hyundai Accents Pace, number 1, El Below Bell at $22.65.45 for Fraser Kirk. 2, Twice As Good, Morris McHenry at $8.20 and $2.15. 3, Super Strike, $3.80 and $1.55, Tony H. Ace Junior at $30.60 and $7.40, and number 5, Gold Baron, Gary Jones, $6 the win and $1.85 for the place. A small but fairly select field. In this next event, number 6, Theophilus at $10.40 and $3.15. Natural Creation and Mark Purdon going for a double. The driver, $2.85 and $1.10, and the trackside tip for the event is number 8, Infinite Spirit, and Glenn Wolfenden at $6.25 and $1.80. After 3 legs in the $250,000 pick 6, there are 748 live units only, so halfway through and plenty gone. $250,000 of course up for grabs in the pick 6 tonight. And if you're thinking that George Simon, after eating so much on that plane, actually had 2 parachutes in that wee satchel of his, just stop it right now. With our FAI Harness Racing Service, we'll go round at the start and catch up with Jim Smith, trackside at Alexandra Park. That's next.
Bye.